Welcome everybody to week 4, day 2 of the VCS English. Well, I am 𝗁𝗁𝘀𝘀. With me is Yulwei, as is often the case, and a guest that is becoming more and more recurring, Professor 𝘀𝗶𝗆𝗆. Welcome back. How are you guys doing today?
Very well. Super nice to be back at my home, and that means that I can be again here, guest in VCS again. It was super fun, and I bet these games today are gonna be bangers.
Well, for me, looking at Clockwork makes me jealous because I really need to go to the hairdresser and get a new haircut because my hair is getting out of hand, and looking at this unbelievably handsome dude is it's not good for me myself. But yeah, I'm very happy to be back.
Yeah, it's Clockwork. Clockwork has eyebrows that many a man would kill for. But speaking of getting killed for, that's a terrible transition. But anyway, last night we saw the Giants fall. 𝘀𝗀 got upset massively by Team Secret. Due a little bit to the fact that there was a bug in the game that rules were laid out for and promptly ignored. But other than that, it was for the most part a pretty legit 2-0 by Team Secret against 𝘀𝗀. And Clockwork, we know you're the Secret fanboy. What were your takes? What was your take on the matches yesterday?
Okay, so I would never have predicted it to begin with. I thought that, yeah, as Everyday also mentioned here and there, Peak Secret could beat 𝘀𝗀 for sure. I did not expect them to beat them yesterday. So I am definitely very happy, although even as a Secret fan myself, I am still a bit, bitter that it wasn't a clean 2-0 at all, but it was like helped sort of by this competitive punishment of getting 3 bans. So I still want to see Secret to beat 𝘀𝗀 maybe in the second round robin without any competitive advantage like that. So it is a win. It is a win. The standings are set in stone.
It's great for them in standings, yeah.
Yeah. And the 2-0 all the more, so it's a very important win. But as for Secret, what it tells us, it's still not enough to, certify that Secret is back and they're Peak Secret again.
Yeah, I'd add on to that it actually creates a great storyline to follow for the second round robin, as you just alluded to. They beat 𝘀𝗀 now 2-0, but 𝘀𝗀, especially in game 2, I think game 1 was actually pretty legitimate, the win. Of course, 𝘀𝗀 still had chances, and I feel like 𝘀𝗀 could have still won the game, but it was basically a 50-50 state, so I'm pretty okay with giving game 1 to Team Secret. I think game 2 is not something that's going to happen again. Game 2 was so much tilt from 𝘀𝗀. They dove the bot tower over and over again, just ran it down. It was some 𝘁𝗁𝗀𝘀 action in the bot lane there. So I don't actually think game 2 is real. So I think actually game 1 is more real than game 2, interestingly enough, even though game 2 was the game without the bug. But yeah, I think we can now follow the storyline of rising TS and still the overlords of 𝘀𝗀. And can TS actually challenge them on even ground again? Or was this just a fluke? So something to follow as a Team Secret fan and as a 𝘀𝗀 fan, which makes the league more interesting, even though I'm still a little bit salty because I wanted the 10-0. I wanted the 28-0. Maybe that was my 𝘀𝗀 curse yesterday. So I had to pay the price again.
Were you on Twitter? No way.
No, actually, only in chat, but I think my powers are getting bigger.
That's enough. Turn off your router every Friday. That's the rule from now on. Okay, but we are going to see a bit of the ramifications from that match today because both of those teams are playing. The momentum from that win may be important up against BTS, and that'll be our first series. And the second series, 𝘀𝗀 will be looking to get to redeem themselves, to say that was purely the bug, purely the competitive ruling. We are still on top and looking to take it to Cerberus after that. but we'll focus on the first game primarily. Well, first match for now. BTS versus Team Secret. What really stands out? Yulwei will let you go first. What really stands out as the sort of focal point of this match to you?
I think, yeah, we are very clear favorites, and I think it's more interesting to actually look at the player matchups. And there's one matchup I particularly want to keep my eyes on that's in the bot lane. Not the ADCs, actually, even though both are legacy ADCs, but the two support players, with 𝘂𝑺 coming in very, very hot, and last week getting close to the #1 player award. I think a lot of us voted for him, but he barely didn't make it. I think it was like 2 or 3 votes off getting the player of the week. And on the other side, we have 𝘂𝗶𝘆𝘀, who I really like as a player. I really liked him as a support last spring season. I really pushed the narrative of 𝘂𝗶𝘆𝘀 being greater than 𝘁𝗏, at least for that split. And so far, he hasn't been great. Like last week, he was okay. Yesterday, he played decently, but I expected much more from 𝘂𝗶𝘆𝘀. So 𝘂𝑺 against 𝘂𝗶𝘆𝘀, I'll have my eyes on the supports.
Clockwork, yourself?
So I also have recognized the big narrative of the 2 veteran AD carries, but yesterday when I was looking through the stats, I found out a couple interesting trends, especially with Team Secret, that they always, well, not always, but very often pick early game comps, only then to lose leads in the early game. And this has been centered particularly on 𝘁𝗀𝘀, which has basically the second worst goal difference at 15 minutes, which means that he is currently struggling in the lane, but so does 𝘁𝗀. So it will be a sort of a match of the week in the top lane, which is probably what will matter a lot also for this match.
Yes, I think as we all know, the secret to dealing with 𝘁𝗀 is something along the lines of 𝗱𝗏𝗀, 𝗀𝗏𝗺, something along those lines. But
I want to see the Riven. Come on, come on, Riven. You can do it. Come on.
That would be extremely exciting to see. Thankfully, VCS isn't popular enough to affect solo queue, so I'm all for Riven in VCS. But so we're going to see a lot of focus around the very ends of the map. Top lane could be both sides underperforming. Whoever performs better will help their team. Whereas bot lane, both supports have been, well, 𝘂𝑺 in particular has stepped up massively. And 𝘂𝗶𝘆𝘀, he's kind of not at that form we want to see. Okay. But I'm going to actually... No, go on.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I think one player we have to talk about, even though he wasn't really too exciting coming into the week, after yesterday's performance, is 𝘂𝘶𝑒𝑑, because he smurfed on 𝘁𝗏, he smurfed on 𝘁𝗏. What was his KDA? Something like 9-0 at the end with Victor? It was absolutely ridiculous. He blew up 𝘁𝗏 over and over again. He dominated the whole game. And we want to see Team Secret solo laners stand out, because we know their bot lane and jungler should have the potential to keep up with the best teams, maybe even be the best bot lane. We already saw them win a title, right? 𝘂𝗶𝘆𝘀 and Slater. So whenever 𝘂𝘶𝑒𝑑 and 𝘁𝗀𝗀 show promise, the stocks of Team Secret really rise, because we know all the other players in the team can be great. So I want to see 𝘂𝘶𝑒𝑑 keep that level of performance and try to maybe even one-up it. But I think keeping the level would already be a great achievement. So,
and this may be the matchup to do it, because 𝘁𝑺 last week at the very least was struggling in that mid lane on the side of 𝘁𝗀𝘀. But Clockwork, I'm going to go back to your point about them picking for that early game. Actually, no, we'll cancel that. We'll bring up predictions first of all, because we are actually running down the time. What have we got here? We've got a bit of a secret bias, probably coming off that that match yesterday. I know I sort of did a later switch around because of that.
Okay, honestly, before yesterday, I was going to predict 2-1 BTS because I think that, yes, despite Secret improving, I think BTS have had a more steady growth and they're improving at a constant rate. Whereas Secret is still very up and down, very inconsistent. And despite we know that they can even beat the best, they can also lose to the worst. And that could very well happen today. Still, I got a bit of confidence back after the win against GAM. So I'm going to lean towards Secret for this day.
Yeah, for me, the only reason to predict a 2-1 over a 2-0, I'm actually surprised no one is predicting 2-0 here. I'm really considering changing my prediction to 2-0, but I think once the second I change it to 2-0, Team Secret is going to troll one draft, so I'm not sure. I think this should be a 2-0.
BTS cannot go 2-0.
Yeah, that's true as well. But I feel like Team Secret really found something last week. Looking at yesterday's games, they finally went back to their invention, which was 𝗁𝗁𝗀𝗀𝘀 Galio. They played it so many times last split. I made a whole video about just Team Secret playing this composition and also influencing the other teams. And I was very happy to see them go back. The first game didn't actually go too well for them early game, but at least they all know how to play this composition, especially the top side. They have played this so many times now. So I feel like this is going to be maybe a little bit of a foreshadowing for draft as well. This is going to be a big focal point, a big focus for both teams to look at 𝗁𝗁𝗀𝗀, to look at 𝘁𝗁𝗀 and Galio. And if Team Secret can assemble a similar team composition to yesterday, I feel like it should be a pretty easy 2-0. But yeah, I just don't. It's a little bit the KT syndrome. I just don't believe in them anymore. I don't know. Maybe that's the time when
maybe
they 2-0.
Maybe it's because you do believe in them that they're going to lose that game. If it's KT,
they've hurt me too many times. Too many times, man.
A reminder that if Secret managed to lose today, that will be the prime occasion to test our new Discord mode of Team Secret Omega Lul.
I actually don't think it's that funny. It looks very menacing to me, honestly. Like looking at Omega Lul, I'm like, oh yeah, that's funny. That looks super funny. And then Team Secret Lul is like, okay, calm down there. This eye looks way too scary.
Considering you can only see the teeth, like the bottom part, his eye has teeth in it. That's terrifying to think about. But yes, if Secret do flub it here, they will have beaten GAM 2-0 and then just lost to the 7th place team. That is,
it would be the most Team Secret thing to do ever. Honestly, I mean,
it would be very VCS of them, very Team Secret of them as well. But with that, I don't know where was I going with that. My mind completely blanked. I had a point.
That's how Team Secret could play. That's how Team Secret could play. Mine goes blank.
Yes, that is exactly how they could play.
Absolutely true. So Clockwork, maybe one question from me to you. You talked about Team Secret struggles in the early game, and do you think BTS as our late game team can stall, or should they attack early game? How would you approach playing against Secret right now as TTS? Would you say, okay, we are the late game team, you want to scale, so don't do anything? Or would you say, okay, they are bad at early game right now, so we should actually attack them at that part of the game?
So if I was in BTS, I would stick to my weapons because it's through them that they have shown improvement. So I think changing abruptly could be detrimental to their victories. That said, I would put a lot of focus on team fights because I think that BTS have a better vision setup and preparing objectives. They still do it better than Secret. So I think that this is what BTS should look for if they want to beat Secret. Because a lot of the coin flips that Team Secret has been flipping was in how they approach team fights, and I'm going to look very closely at that because I think that, like, especially in VCS and especially for my taste of League of Legends, team fights are crucial and they are the defining element of this league, especially. So, I will keep a very close eye to that.
Yes. I'm gonna actually bring up this point. Yulwei, you mentioned earlier that there was the big. They've reverted back. The Team Secret in particular have reverted back to their global style composition based around this 𝗀𝗃, 𝗁𝗏, Nocturne, etc. Now they've shown that their hand up against 𝘁𝗀, and it worked out quite well for them, especially in that second game. Admittedly, there were no bans thrown towards it. BTS has bans. Do you think that? I imagine that's going to be on their mind in the draft phase, and that's going to be.
Yeah,
where
I think you can actually break the composition pretty easily. Just ban Nocturne. I know Nocturne is not something you ban normally, but just ban Nocturne. Why not? It's such a weird. You don't actually have too much experience playing against Nocturne in a competitive format, and Team Secret is super practiced on it too. So I would just ban Nocturne here.
Okay, but with that said, we are now finally going into our champion select. First one off the board, 𝘁𝗶𝘆, and BTS still has to decide where they're sort of looking to throw their bans. Renekton taken off the board for Coated. And Clockwork, assuming they're going to be banning banning out the 𝗁𝗏, Nocturne, 𝗀𝗃, that sort of composition. Where would you like to see Team Secret draft if that is not the case, but BTS banning 𝘁𝗏?
𝘁𝗏 is a weird ban, especially because I don't think CBL should be the focus. I think they should try to pinch on Artifact and Slater, especially because so far they are the two main carries of the team. And well, yeah, Artifact has shown a quite wide champion pool. But Slater, for example, played a lot of 𝘁𝗂, so it will be pretty easy. Oh, this is a 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆 TS. Yeah, also a great champion for Slater, and especially a big deny to Big 𝘁𝗀, who this split played 9 games of 𝘁𝗁. So this is a very smart first pick from TS because it instantly pinches Big 𝘁𝗀's champions pool, who is now sort of forced to pick 𝘁𝗂, which is his other signature pick. But yeah, the Team Secret could very well ban second round.
The funny thing is what this first pick 𝘁𝗁 actually tells me is that Hope has absolutely no control over champion select.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lilia and Drell are open, and 𝘁𝗁 for Slater is something I would not prefer. I would just put him on Ezreal every game and let him smurf, because his 𝘁𝗁 is very questionable most of the time, so seeing them lock in the 𝘁𝗁, it tells me that Hope has absolutely no control over his scene. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. I'm just looking at this composition. The Nocturne is super obvious. I don't know why you don't just ban it. It's so strange. Nocturne is not actually too great into Lilia, I think. Lilia outpaces him pretty easily. Lilia also gets away from his fear pretty easily and then can turn around and 1v1 him. So I don't think Nocturne into Lilia is too great a matchup for DNK. And this is maybe an opportunity for 𝘀𝗀𝘀 to show us all. 𝘀𝗀𝘀 is still asleep today, sadly. Hopefully he actually woke up from yesterday's sleep. But yeah, I think this is a good opportunity for 𝘀𝗀𝘀 to show everyone why Lilia is the #1 jungler on this patch.
I have a little jam on 𝘀𝗀𝘀 because despite all the flack that we've been giving him after last split and his recent competitive performance, he is one of the junglers with the most solo kills in VCS so far. So he's definitely been improving, and the second best jungler with according to solo kills is DNK. So this could be a very interesting pattern to see, especially like Nocturne could very well be a bother to Lilia in the early game. And as I
don't actually think that's true. I think Nocturne can be very dangerous for Lilia once he gets a kill or two and has enough burst to really hurt her with his first rotation. But in the early game, Lilia is favored, in my opinion. I don't think Nocturne can really do anything to Lilia, because he never gets to connect the fear. Because Lilia is just faster. Lilia can just outrun the fear, and then Nocturne loses 1v1, because Lilia has more damage. So I don't actually think it's a great matchup for Nocturne in the early game. I think it can work later on.
Yeah, my jungle understanding is that whoever finds the other jungler first tends to win the trades. But we are...
Ooh.
All right, the blind 𝘁𝗁𝘀.
Another PH special, yeah.
Technically flexible. I guess we know it's.
That's
I guess
it.
they know the Gnar is in the top lane, so it's probably a safe bet to pick your top laner there. So
I
I
really,
think this is Lori's set here.
yeah, I really
need
want
80.
to see 𝗁𝗀𝗆 to be given to th, because I think like his best games were in summer 2020 playoffs when he played in EVOS. It was like, I think his debut or something, but he had a lot of very stunning games with 𝗁𝗁𝗆. So in this split, he's had a bit of a hard time. So maybe the 𝗁𝗁𝗆 is what he needs to, you know, pick himself back up. And BTS now have free counter pick on the mid lane, which is, as we said about 𝗁𝗁𝗆, that he's been popping off recently, especially yesterday. It could be a good thing to give some leeway to 𝘀𝑺 to keep the mid lane afloat.
I hate this Leona. Leona into the rel 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆, it sounds super bad. Okay, they need AD mid, and 𝘀𝑺 going to solution. Not the biggest fan of 𝘀𝑺 solution, I have to say. We'll have to, and also not the easiest matchup into Syndra. So, not the. I guess they needed a little bit more of a hard carry AD champion, because if you go set here, the enemy team can still just ignore the AD threat and basically itemize against MR on the top, against AP damage on the top side. So, understandable. I really don't like the Lucian compositionally, because what does he do? He doesn't really serve a purpose later on. Short-ranged AD carry.
yeah, the Lucian pick is a little bit interesting considering
I think Tristana is just a better ADC here.
Since BTS went ahead and banned two of Lucian's best matchups. But maybe that's one of the few that 𝘀𝑺 can play, not confident in the Jace pick sort of thing. That said, we now have our two team compositions. Yulwei, give us your quick overview and your prediction, then we'll let Clockwork do the same.
I think BTS outdrafted Team Secret pretty handily. I think first rotation alone is a huge outdraft on this patch. rel is unbelievably broken. 𝗁𝗀𝗆 is super good in rel as well, so I just changed my prediction to 2-0, and of course, immediately TS gets smashed in draft, so I think BTS, with their standard of play and 𝗁𝗀𝗆 smurfing last week, I think if they can replicate that, I think they have a very good shot here in game 1.
Clockwork, yourself?
I do agree with Yulwei for a different reason, which is Secret have a lot of way to dive, to go in with the Nocturne, with the Kai'Sa, but also BTS has a lot of ways to kite back with the 𝗁𝗁𝗆, with the Lilia, with 𝗁𝗁𝗆. They have a lot of ways of distancing themselves and countering the comp as a whole. I still do have some doubt about the lack of CC on BTS side, which can be an avenue of victory for Secret, but overall I would give this game to BTS.
Alright, so we have 2 votes for BTS, and with that we are going to bring in someone who can shout quite loudly. Rakan, take no, everyday, come on in.
Rakan is put in his VIP cage while I'm casting, I'll have you know.
He can shout loudly though.
He can, but I don't want to be upstaged with my own shouting. But thank you. I'm happy to be here. Hope everyone enjoyed the big brain death that had, 2.5 analysts. Marby with the hosting role, but still a big brain himself. Or themselves, sorry. We are heading into game, of course. I do echo some of the concerns for the Team Secret comp. It's interesting because Clockwork, when the 𝗁𝗆𝗆 was locked in, he said, "Oh, that's a good pick for Slater." Is it? He picks it a lot, but I don't know if that's been a good decision by him. He does tend to overextend in fights. Let's see if he pulls that one again this time. TH on the 𝗁𝗆𝗆 though, that's exciting.
Yeah, this is definitely where the eye is immediately drawn into this top lane matchup. 𝗁𝗆𝗆, not something you tend to see quite a lot of anymore, but a favorite of quite a few of other enemies top laners. 𝗁𝗏 comes to mind, though he hasn't exactly played it at all. TH, of course, and Slater taking a huge trade in the bot lane, getting completely bullied around by 𝗁𝗆𝗆 and 𝗁𝗀𝗆𝗆.
Yeah, I'd love to know how that actually happened there. It just seems like the 𝘁cie and the rel were just able to walk up to them 𝘁𝗶𝗀𝗀, as we were saying, like, genuinely has been playing out of his mind. Considering when he was named '𝘂𝗍 last split, he was playing on the same team. Of course, they were percent at the time, but it is the same team. He was a bit of a joke, you know? We really were pretty harsh on him, and I don't think it was unfairly harsh. He was a very weak player. Has come into this split and really come into his own, playing fantastic. You know, I voted for him for Player of the Week last week. I think he actually deserved it. 𝘁𝗨, I think, ended up winning it due to a little bit of strength of name.
Strength of name, yeah.
But I actually think 𝘁𝗀𝗀 was Player of the Week last week.
Yeah, every time we see 𝘁𝗀𝗀 or 𝘁𝗀𝗀, he just seems to be on a constant uptick. When we first saw him as in the promotion tournament, he looked like he was going to be easily the worst support in the league. Then he turned out to be pretty okay, not a top of the standings by any means. And now he is looking like one of our best supports in the league. So just constant improvement from this guy, and I expect to see good things in the future as 𝘁𝗀𝗎. Yeah, that was very, very flash outplaying 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝘀 there as 𝘀𝗀𝗀 makes his way up through the mid lane. Got a bit of a tempo lead on this compared to DNK. However, DNK has backed first, so maybe looking to make something happen a little bit, but generally as Nocturne, you're not really in the game until you reach that level 6 and can find that ultimate to gank with.
Yeah, I don't really expect either jungler to want to do much pre-6. BTS doesn't have the greatest gank setup for the Lilia, unless Team Secret do something very silly down on the bot side. If they super overextend, yeah, 𝘁𝗀 can definitely get the party started, but in general, I think these junglers are just going to wait till 6 before they really make any moves, and it's kind of just on Team Secret to not fall too far behind in the mid lane. Everything else should be fairly even. So it might be a bit of a slow one for the VCS. We're not too used to that.
It really should be. 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀's main purpose in this game should be to just make sure DNK is kept track of, so he can't make those plays, especially as level 6 approaches, level 5 at the moment. Because, yeah, there's just not a lot of setup that they can do, so it's going to be very hard to be proactive as BTS, but they are should naturally win a lot of these lanes. The Lucian currently down a little bit in CS, but has a whole wave to pick up, but never mind, CBL's out of position.
𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀 making a good start to the play here, the Zenith Blade to try and escape from CBL. They have called in a teleport, they're going to try and turn it around. The Leona flashing away very, very low. 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀 on the chase, will get first blood. 𝘂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 answers back immediately. So it's just going to be the 1-for-1, slight bit of favor to BTS.
It's support for support. There is a slight... You could actually say it's in some ways better that 𝘂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 ends up with the kill compared to 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. However, he has given up quite a lot of extra experience by teleporting into that top lane. Has to walk all the way back, and TH he's set up it seems he set up a little bit of a freeze, so not that bad for the side of BTS there. But yeah, here we just see CBL's caught quite far out of position. 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 has to commit quite a bit, and 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 just took a little bit too much damage on that in that initial engage. Gives 𝘂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 with a great time.
Immediately, as CBL has been caught out once again, 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 charging forward, getting that passive movement speed ticked up, but they won't be able to chase any further. It is just going to be them taking control of the bottom side of the river. Once again, 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 doing a fantastic job on the 𝘁𝗀.
Yeah, very, very good at taking advantage of CBL's aggressive positioning. 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 making sure he can get his bot lane ahead, going to the only place with CC, but now Team Secret's going
paranoia, here they go. Xayah is instantly removed from the map, but there's a napping CBL that'll be cleaned up, no worries. DNK under tower, cannot outplay TH. In fact, it's TH with the outplays, as he picks one up, and BTS again come out on top in a play.
Anything 𝘂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 can do, TH says he can do better. He teleports down and picks up 2 kills for himself compared to the 1 of 𝘂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. that really nice play from the side of TH. And that's going to mean that despite the fact that 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝘀 was instantly deleted, as we're going to see here, great engage on top of him, instant explosion from TS, but good response. Again, TH has sort of BTS realizing that you need to be teleporting as soon as possible when you hear that scream from the Nocturne come down, when you see that darkness come in. And we're just seeing 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝘀 get so much pressure in this mid lane, crashing a massive wave in. Unfortunately, they're not really in a position for the jungler to actually utilize this mid lane pressure and convert into objective. Both side lanes, of course, having good pressure in. And 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝘀's already done a hell of a lot of damage to this top lane tower. So, because of that early Hex Drinker, it means that that teleport down from TH has sort of come out gold neutral with the CS lead and the turret plates that 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀 has gotten.
Yeah, I mean, that top lane is why TS actually does have this very slight gold lead overall, despite the kill advantage. It is just that top lane and the little bit of the CS lead in the bot lane. Oh my god. Sorry.
Khan broke something, didn't he?
Nah, something just fell off my desk. It's alright, I'll sort it out in a sec.
Okay.
Rakan's in the other room. As 𝘁𝗀𝗺 does steal away. It's true. 𝘁𝗀𝗺 stealing away a blue buff, doing well there. Ooh, down on the bot side, Big 𝘁𝗀 having to pop the Feather Storm, but he did get the Ignite for it.
Yeah, 𝘂𝗶𝗆𝘆 just taking advantage of Rel roaming around the map. Uses the Ignite, forces the cleanse and the ultimate out of Big 𝘁𝗀, who was left to his own devices. That's going to be potential for a return from DNK, whose ultimate is back up. There's no summoner spells, no ultimate on Big 𝘁𝗀. He's going to be very, very vulnerable, but DNK is going to go for the dragon, and BTS, recognizing this, rotating their bot lane to the top side. Very smart move to keep their bot lane safe. However, they are going to lose quite a bit of gold on that for this Rift Herald. So they're going to have to try and get the most out of 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀 right now. But good Boulder, knew they were there.
Yeah, 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 playing this one very well. But has to try and get away. Yep, the hop will be enough to get him away from Rel. 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 with a good attempt, but nothing comes of it. Hex Drinker first is interesting. Sorry, I just haven't seen Hex Drinker in the new patch. It looks like a toy sword.
It really does. It's kind of... A lot of these new items have very goofy looking icons, personally. But I was a little bit almost worried for TH, but they decided not to continue stacking that bot side. They're going to try and match the lanes, because that has been working out for Team Secret, just slowly winning in terms of pure laning pressure, 1v1 and 2v2. But because they're always back to the sort of late to the play, there's another swap coming in immediately from the side of BTS. So it's just going to be wave traded. And if Team Secret decide to just overload the top side of the map, they could just get even more of free plates and possibly even first brick, because this tower is already really low.
Yeah, 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 was left with a bit of a gift there, as he had a extremely low tower plate to just go crack open. The 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 getting a bit more gold injected directly in. Loving that so far, 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. DNK up on this top side as well. I think they are going to do exactly what you said. Commit to this tower and just try and crack it. The Rift Herald's nice for BTS, but you really want to use that to get first brick, and it doesn't look like they're going to get that. Not even close. They haven't even dropped it anywhere.
No, 𝘁𝗀𝗺 just has not been in a good position to utilize this Rift Herald. He's been sort of very hesitant as to where he's going on the map, backing off multiple times instead of just committing to a lane. Now 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀's going to have to back off. Now they're going to use the Rift Herald to get a few plates, most likely, but with DNK on the way, this tower might not even go down. If
it'll be
to ult. It'll
be close. I think it's going to go down, but I don't think Team Secret really minds that. You won out gold-wise, because you did get first brick, and you made them use the Rift Herald. So, yep. I think Team Secret's totally fine with this. It's only 100 gold in it. No team is winning at this point. It's extremely even. And this is something that you guys on the desk were alluding to, is how does BTS play this one? We have talked about BTS as they are this late game team. If they go into the late game early, they're happy. But that's somewhat true of Team Secret as well. Team Secret won in the late game against 𝘁𝗏 in Game 1 yesterday.
Yeah,
they were behind most of the game, and then they won in the late game.
Yes, it is. You do have to remember that it was in part mostly due to a huge blunder from 𝘁𝗏 giving up their lead. But at this point, I think you could.
I don't think I agree with that. I think people are really underselling how well Team Secret played in that Game 1.
I mean,
Artifact was ridiculous on that Azir.
True, but Artifact never would have gotten that opportunity if they had just gone for Elder instead of Baron. But never mind, that's in the past. What we're currently seeing here is not a lot of pressure coming up from the side of BTS, and that's giving Team Secret full control of this bot side. They're getting a couple of extra plates onto 𝘁𝗏. 𝘁𝗏 is getting really, really far ahead of
𝘁𝗏 in some trouble. 𝘁𝗏, he throws the rock, he brings down the 𝘁𝗄. And now TH is a little bit worried. He got chunked out while teleporting. You can see the Nocturne smoke was on him, but he goes into the Shroud, so he'll be okay. Well played there from DNK, making sure TH wasn't confident enough to go for any kills.
Yeah, potentially could have still made something happen. Actually, no, the ultimate had already been used, so... But because of the transfer in pressure, TH trying to get something back onto 𝘁𝗏, that's a completely unguarded bot lane tower. That's going to be even more gold into the pocket of 𝘁𝗏, and it is really just Team Secret out macroing and having good amounts and applying good pressure to the side lanes, which BTS cannot handle. And here it's just 𝘁𝗏 stepping too far forward and just not respecting 𝘁𝗏.
Bit early on that emote. Also, hitbox to get that stun was a little bit ridiculous. But 𝘁𝗏 is now going to just try and get as much CS as he can before 𝘳𝗏𝘀 sends him to the grave. 𝘁𝗏 just being a bit silly there, honestly. Just overextending straight back up the top lane. Inting a bit of a kill away, but it's traded for a Mountain Drake for Team Secret.
Yeah. The fact 3 members had to be committed means this dragon goes completely uncontested. And it's going to be an Ocean Soul, which suits Team Secret extremely well. They are more than happy to have this pick up against a high damage composition like BTS, because any reduction towards that damage you can get, and that extra healing going to come in and be a massive factor up against the sort of double AD carry composition and the extra bursts from the top side. No CC to keep them locked down, and it's showing that BTS cannot find these picks as much as they need to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. We sort of have to look at how they can get things going, but again, they are currently about 2,000 gold down, one point a bit. So let's just say 1k down. I can do maths. But they have a comp that scales very well into the late game. Not that Team Secret scaling is terrible, but like Nocturne in the late game is just a cruise missile. You fire him at someone and hopefully he explodes on them, and neither of them walk away. But Xayah in a team fight later on, once she has her items, is going to do a lot more than a 𝘁𝗏𝘀. So I just think BTS at the moment, if I'm BTS, I'm just trying to weather this storm.
I think the biggest issue with BTS, though, when it comes to those team fights, is you have to approach them at a very weird angle. You haven't really got much of a front line beyond that rel. And 𝘁𝗏𝘁𝗀!
Here we go. Oh my god, 𝘁𝗏𝗀, you absolute god. He gets a double kill. He deserves even more. As 𝘁𝗏𝗀 charges forward, lands a W to pick up a 3rd kill for the team. They're going forward. 𝘁𝗏𝗏 will be the 4th to fall. 4 go down, and BTS have just been wiped on out.
As I was just trying to say, BTS do not have the CC to set up those 5v5s. 𝘁𝗏𝗀, however, absolutely did. And the chain into the solar flare just going to be a 4 for nothing. And they're going to be able to turn that extra damage, that back pressure into another tower. There's not really much else they can get, but that gold injection is huge. about a 3,000 gold lead. If they can't actually pick up the tower, which would have given them a really nice back timing, maybe help them pick up the collector. But here we just see 𝘁𝗱𝗱𝘆. It's important.
Stridebreaker flash. Mwah.
Yeah, followed up with that solar flare, and then it's just a simple rundown. Glory and Big 𝘁𝗀 just cannot get away from the side of Team Secret. That stun from Artifact finishing off the deal. 2 double kills to 𝘁𝗀 and 𝘁𝗀𝘀. They are now so far ahead of their counterparts. At least an item in the bot lane. Feels like it should be an item as well at the top side, but either 𝘁𝗀 hasn't backed yet, or items are more expensive than I realized for the top side.
Things are pretty expensive up top, but I don't think he has backed yet. I'm sure if we did see the gold, he would have a fair bit in the pocket. I'm not 100% sure. I think that was a really, really lovely play. It's actually kind of something I really like about the switch from 11.2 to 11.3. Is 𝘁𝗀 was so broken on 11.2, you just built it on everyone. Now that 𝘁𝗀 is toned down, it's still fine on this patch, but it's toned down. You get items that actually have a bit more playmaking. 𝘁𝗀 was just a good item that allowed you to heal in a team. It wasn't very exciting. That play happened because of Stridebreaker. He Stridebreakered and then flashed to change his angle.
Having that extra dash,
you can't do that with
𝘁𝗀. Yeah. Having that extra dash available means that Gnar is a lot more able to take advantage of that small window he has to Mega Gnar. And 𝘁𝗀, he did it. He took full advantage. Now Big 𝘁𝗀 probably going to have to give up this position, but have to give up that tower. Wasn't on a lot of health left anyway, and 𝘁𝗀𝗀 just has the damage to just take it down extremely easily. 2 items, including that collector. Knocks down the turret. Now they can get extra vision down in that blue side quadrant. They've already got that lit up like a Christmas tree. And now that means there can be next to no contest on this Ocean Drake. And that's going to put them towards Soul Point.
Yeah, it certainly is. And we do need to see the strong top side of BTS. They've got all the kills. Of course, there is only 4. But TH is in a decent position, as is 𝘀𝗀𝘀. The rest of the map has kind of fallen apart. So we need to see these two try and right the ship. There's a paranoia. 𝘁𝗀𝗀 in the backline. Bang! Into the wall. This Gnar is here to play. Starting off well. 𝘁𝑎𝑎𝑐 turning it around fantastically, though. Does get a big stun, but it just doesn't matter. Team Secret is far too far ahead. They're in a lovely position. They're going to be a consolation kill for TH, but there is a quadra kill for 𝘁𝗀𝗀. This Kai'Sa is popping off. 𝘁𝗀𝗀 and 𝘁𝗀𝗀 are here to carry Team Secret over the line.
They decide, because of just how good that fight went, they don't need that dragon. They're just going to go straight into this Baron. They have a Gnar, they have a Nocturne, and a Kai'Sa. They can melt that in a matter of seconds. They probably have enough time to kill this Baron and get to the dragon before BTS can pick it up. Okay, maybe not with Glory teleporting towards it, but there we go.
Yeah, this is a fairly easy Baron.
But, Baron for one measly little Ocean Drake,
fine.
That's fine. You're not particularly upset by that. And here we see BTS taking full advantage of the Gnar just in the backside, blows it up immediately. But here we see 𝘁𝑎𝑎𝑐 almost get a great turnaround, but unfortunately, 𝘀𝗀𝗀's in Zhonya's for the majority of that triple stun. So, despite the heroics from Rel, it came at the worst possible timings that no one could capitalize on it. And that just means clean fight for Team Secret. Only losing Artifact.
Look, people in the audience, any of our Vietnamese fans, can you let me know how much car insurance is in Vietnam? Because 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀, he's going to need to upgrade his car insurance plan, because that man goes hard on the clutch.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Listen. Can he drive?
Maybe, I don't
Is
know.
is he old
I don't
enough
know.
to drive?
He's 18. They're all 18. You have
I
to be
don't
18
know
to play.
with the VCS, man.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know Vietnamese road rules.
Children off the street, it feels like, with how young these players tend to be. Like, you're old enough to drive? Get out of here.
Anyway, we do have a group up in the mid lane here, BTS. They just feel like they have to stick together to not be caught out as Artifact primes a stun. Hits it, but only onto 𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗀. Nothing they want to follow up on. Oh my word, 𝘁𝗃𝗺, you madman. Paranoia is used. This is an insanely deep play. What the hell did you just do, 𝘁𝗃𝗺?
They saw Slater out of position.
He was about 40 kilometers ahead of his team. We've got part 2 of the team fight. 𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗀 doing his best to create some space, but it doesn't matter. Not with Artifact hitting stuns like that. Slater picking up kills. 𝘀𝗫 getting another. And that's going to be an ace. Team Secret are dominating.
Okay, as an Oceanic player, I've seen this multiple times. This is, my team isn't pressing the surrender, isn't actually voting surrender, so I'm just going to interwave down the mid lane.
It's a normal Summoner's Rift experience.
Yeah, it really is in Oceania. So, but that's just going to be basically the game in a really unwinnable position for now for BTS, because that's 2 inhibitors broken. That's so much pressure. There's a while until we see anything to actually play for, so we probably still stuck in this game for another couple of minutes. But there is now so much pressure for Team Secret. BTS are probably stuck in their base for the majority of it. Yeah, here we see 𝘁𝗃𝗺 he thinks he can get onto Slater, but Slater is able to flash away, get onto turret, and then BTS, they can't follow up. And now they're so split up. TH eventually decides, I'm going to try for Slater. I don't actually think he manages to get it. Killer instinct, that shield coming up and just an 𝗁𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀 under tower with no W.
That was rude. I think we saw a lot of tilt out of BTS there. I do agree. They want this game to be over as much as we do. It is, like, it's all over except the Nexus exploding. As 𝘀𝗫, perhaps a little bit caught out, but he'll get safely away. 𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗀 trying to make the engage happen, but a Paranoia is instantly used. CBL buying a lot of space on the backside, and in comes Nocturne. The cruise missile has landed. There it is. He takes down 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀. 1 kill will be all that BTS can get as Slater goes under the tower. Gale forces down the enemy ADC, and that is going to be another ace. I think we might finally be out of here. Well, I say finally, it's only 24 minutes, but it seems like a lot more with how far ahead Team Secret's been for a while. That is a dominating performance in Game 1. They took down 𝘁𝗀𝗄 2-0, and they're now up 1-0 against BTS.
BTS called go next. They realized that their lack of CC, lack of peel against this Nocturne was just never, and this Gnar was just never going to be enough. So they've decided we're going to go back to the drawing board. This game's lost, but we can still potentially bring it back in a reverse sweep. But we're going to have to see if that happens.
And we will be back in just a little bit with the VCS English analyst desk, and I'll be seeing you once we're on Summoner's Rift for Game 2 of Team Secret taking on BTS. What a strong start from Team Secret.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm
Sorry,
hosting.
You are the host. You are
I'm
correct.
hosting.
I am completely off. I'm very sorry.
You're fine. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. We just saw Team Secret completely thrash BTS in that first game of the series. Yulwei, since you're so eager to talk about things,
I'm so sorry.
go for it. What were your thoughts? What were your opinions? Go for it.
Team Secret is just a much better team. They actually played around their win condition very, very well. Tried to go for early mid-game team fights with one item where the composition really came into online, or came into its strongest point, I should say. Coated with a very good execution there, Stride Breaker, Flash, Ultimate, basically won them the whole game. That's why he had a great team fight there. Then later on, Slater took over in team fights, so just a great performance, aggressive, but not over-aggressive. Something you'd like to see from VCS teams.
Yeah, Clockwork, you're probably loving it. Team Secret, showing
Absolutely.
up.
Absolutely. Even if I think this victory has been helped in great deal by BTS, because I assume, this is just an assumption, that they tried to do some early rotations with the double lane swap that they performed in the first, I think, 10-14 minutes. They, I assume, planned to attack Team Secret in the early game by maybe allocating some more resources onto 𝗵𝗂𝗀. I don't know for sure, because it failed spectacularly, and it ended up setting behind both DH and 𝗵𝗂𝗀. So I'm not too sure what BTS planned with that double lane swap, but I don't want to see it again.
I don't want
Yeah,
to
and
see
sadly,
that.
I think we also got to see a lot of the player diff in this game, because Team Secret played well as a team, for sure. We have to give them credit for their execution in team fights, for how they approached team fights in the first place. But then we also just saw mechanical fumbles from Drugthan, the very first bot lane gank. That did not look great. That's not how you want to play Lilia. Missed his E, missed his W, flashed forward. Looked very rough there. Could have dealt way more damage immediately. Then 𝘁𝑎𝑔 not cancelling the Nocturne gauge properly. Mid lane 𝘁𝑚𝑖 struggling once again with a lot of mispositionings on the map, just getting 1v1 over and over again. So player diff was definitely a factor here too.
Player diff. I mean, that is often the story of the VCS success. Just be the better players. That's how 𝘁𝗀 operated for years, and it worked out well for them. Always top 2, except for the times they weren't.
The good old get good.
Good old get good.
That's
Yes. You touched on my point that 𝘁𝑚𝑒 still struggling quite a lot. We keep seeing time and time again. They're just ignoring the picks we know him for, and he's pulling out these weird, wonderful things like the Lucian that he just seems to struggle on time and time again. But if you're BTS, Clockwork, you can go first. What are you changing? How are you? You don't want to see the double lane swap again. Fair enough. What sort of thing do you want to see though?
Okay, so this is a very small tip carrying over from my Dota experience, which is pick crowd control. You do not win team fights without crowd control. You do not win games without winning team fights. That is crucial. Simple, but crucial. Keep it simple. Keep them still, and then beat them. That is, like, I think, super basic, and I think BTS would improve a very good deal with implementing this. I want to touch just a little bit on the fight at 16 minute 30, I think, around the second Herald. For for two occasions, BTS had a very good flank. One just below the red buff with 𝘂𝑺 and th, and the second one with th entering the Herald Pit. Those were, in theory, both good flanks, but they couldn't execute on them because they had no CC. And then this led a window to 𝘁𝗀𝘀 to go with the execution of Flash Stridebreaker and the stun that basically tipped the whole game in favor of Secret. So with some CC, those two flanks could have won that fight for BTS.
But crowd control doesn't do damage.
Sometimes
Okay, yeah, no, fair point. Sometimes it does do damage.
But smart.
Yeah, all right. Clockwork, big brain. Use CC. Stop the win the team fight, win the game. It is League of Legends 101. But League of Legends 102, how to draft, because VCS has decided that is the least important thing, because the bad drafts keep winning.
Okay.
I mean, let's not call the last one a bad draft.
Oh, okay.
I want to reiterate, it was not a bad draft from Secret. I think BTS responded well and outdrafted them, in my opinion. I think they had the better draft. I don't think Team Secret's draft was bad, though. So it was not one of those games where we see the worst the draft being super bad and then still winning. I think their drafts definitely had some like the execution honest was on them, and they executed well in the mid game. So I mean, if you're confident your team can do that, draft that again. It was just a little bit binary, especially NAR engages. You should be able to read NAR engages better as pro team, in my opinion. NAR should never get such an easy way into the backline, especially in the one stage of the game where your team composition is the strongest. I'm happy BTS is sticking to 𝘂𝑺 though, even though the last game wasn't great. I think overall his 𝘂 performances have been pretty solid.
Clockwork, you had something to say?
So yeah, in another form, the Nocturne ultimate is a crowd control, and you cannot cleanse it. So BTS, good and wise, decide to ban it for this time.
Finally.
Secret opt again for the first pick, 𝘁𝑐𝗱𝗆. If it's not broken, don't fix it. And then they follow up with 𝘂𝘂𝗺 and an answer of Graves. This is like I have grown to dislike the 𝘂𝘺 in VCS because most player can't really pull it off properly. They are too itchy to gank when most times it's enough just to focus on farming. And finally, also the Tristana that Yulwei mentioned early. I think it's much better than Lucian, especially in these extended team fights. Moving also to the late game, which is where BTS wants or should, I think, play more.
So, Clockwork, do you see much CC in the BTS comp? Do you like where they're going?
There is a start of CC with the res, of course.
There's more than there was last time.
Yeah, they also removed the other blind in the game to TS, which is Graves. That is a very strong CC, even if it's not like keeping them standing. It's like super good weapon. Of course, against TS, like they are an I team, so blinding them sure is effective.
Wow.
Has to be.
So, Teamwork from
analysis
TH.
coming in here.
Teamwork. Teemo Quinn, round out the blinds, you've won. That's the perfect counter. That's what I'm hearing. But, yeah.
Makes sense. So I think Team Secret is not really presenting us with a super interesting composition, just going standard, going with what worked last game. Of course, 𝘂𝘺, it's always nice to have. DNK. Yeah, I don't actually think DNK 𝘂𝘺 is something you would think about too much. I feel like DNK is really strong on champs like Elise, champs like Gragas with a lot of playmaking potential. 𝘂𝘺 not really coming to mind with playmaking potential. He just runs around. But
yeah, this is a very good thing for BTS. as I mentioned before, TH, if instead of an 𝘁𝗁𝘀 in those two occasions around that fight had a Malphite, that was a stellar flank, and he could have won the team fight. I won't say the game, but like that team fight would have been won with a Malphite. So here is Clockwork thumbs up, good CC, I like it. TS also brings the Leona, which is like literal CC knight.
Only two supports allowed today. Why don't you pick Thresh here? Hello? Why Leona? Into Tristana Rel, you go Leona? Why? Support picks in the VCS can be a head scratcher.
Yeah,
Thresh even was banned in the last game. He's so good into Rel, he's so good into Tristana, and CBL is an excellent Thresh player. Just go Thresh here. I hate it.
I'm gonna say there is one thing a stat I want to bring up that I know Yulwei will greatly enjoy. So Graves at the moment is 4-6 in the VCS. That's fine, but probably the next closest region to us is probably the LPL. That is the region VCS tends to emulate the most. Graves in the LPL, 15-40. 40 losses in the LPL. So Graves, not necessarily the best champion right now in the meta, but that's just a bit of fun that's just a fun tidbit, and Graves is bad. So is Syndra, but that's another story altogether. I'll save that hate for Rebel. Final thoughts, guys. Clockwork, you can go first this time. Final thoughts, prediction. Do Secret take it 2-0.
Okay, so I'm gonna regret this again, but I think once again BTS has the slightly better draft. Secret, I think they have a hard time getting into the fight. 𝘀𝘀𝘀 shouldn't be able to get close to Tristana or to Azir, and if Slayer with Kai'Sa goes in, it has like sort of weak follow-up from the other team members of Team Secret. So I would put my chips again on BTS, but more skeptically than before.
Yeah, I agree. Once again, I like BTS's comp more, even though it has Graves in it, which is a major downside for a composition. But yeah, I think their comp is pretty good in the late game. They know how to play Azir. Malphite is strong, and 𝘀𝘀𝘀 can't do anything, as Clockwork said. So I'm not willing to predict them, though. Team Secret is just better today. They're a much better team. So 2-0 Team Secret.
Well, those two are split. Now we shall bring back the man who talks fast, because I can't talk fast enough for team fights in this region.
Is that all I am to you? I just talk fast. That's all I am. Fair enough.
Yeah, yeah, that's about right.
I actually do quite like this BTS draft. I think they've gone back to basics. This is such an easy comp. It's hard to mess this up. I do agree with Yulwei that I just think Team Secret is the better team, particularly today. Team Secret is a team that can beat 𝘁𝗀 and also lose to Flash, depending on what day it is. But today, they do seem to be in pretty fine form, particularly Coded. He's had a spotty season so far. He's actually, in my opinion, he's been the biggest weak point for Team Secret so far, but he's been fantastic today. And if he keeps that up into Game 2, it's going to be tricky for BTS. But hey, you stick TH on the rock, can't go too wrong. Oh, we go down to the bot lane, though, and there is a big old fight already. 𝘁𝑎O in trouble. Does manage to get onto the horse, though, and get away, but they lose the health lead.
Very interesting. Not entirely sure what happened there. 𝘁𝑎O may have gone for an early dismount to try and get the cheeky flip back, but CBL just able to keep them in place long enough to do a lot of damage. However, that is still BTS going to be first to level 2, so they should have a little bit of control in this lane for now, but it wasn't a very much, they didn't have that level lead for long, so it's not going to get the most out of that. But we are seeing a bit of a better situation for the side of BTS, just due to the fact that Glory is able to get pressure in this mid lane against this Syndra now, whereas last time he was kind of getting pushed around by Artifact on the Lucian. So already doing very well, and especially in the health trades. Burning through those corrupting pots compared to the two normal health pots, that's a huge advantage for 𝘀𝘁 so far in this early game.
Yeah,
Not
for
that
sure.
there's a lot of CC to capitalize on that to make it a big game win, like a kill, but
still, it does look like he's going to force the first teleport. And we have a dive being set up. 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝘀 running in. He's in that bear form. He wants to slap the rock. But with 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝘀 taking all that damage, I think they just call this one off before anyone takes turret aggro. Good control there. Very good communication there from Team Secret. A lot of VCS teams would have committed to that dive anyway, and it would have gone horribly.
Interesting. Not a ton of mana left on TH, so he probably, if 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝘀 had just committed to taking the turret first, there wouldn't have been a lot of ability to return damage, nor is there much CC with that Q already being fired towards 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝘀. So it's definitely doable, but they play it safe. They decide not to go for it. That's just going to mean that 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀 is able to continue winning out in CS in this top lane and just trying to build up that advantage that way. It's already amounting to a decent lead overall for Team Secret. Couple of 100 gold purely off the CS in top and jungle. As 𝘀𝘁, he's still trying to put the pain down on Artifact despite being down a level. Oh, he's just going to level up now.
Yeah, doing pretty well there. A fairly even trade in the end. I don't think too much has come of this Syndra Azir matchup. Level 6 obviously has potential for playmaking. Ooh, 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝘀
very low.
Finds his way in. 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀's going to hide in the bush. He goes for the hop, but the rock will get the kill. I'm not even sure what actually finished him there. But it is going to be... Probably, yeah. Actually, that's a good call. Well done there. BTS will score first blood. And the Malphite is looking good.
Yep, 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀 just not really respecting 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀's ability to come up there.
Homeless man inbound.
Tries to kite forward.
Wee-oo. Homeless man, he's on the way. There it is. He lands a slap. 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀 has to find his way through the tower, though, if he wants to support this. 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀 does so much damage. Flashing for flashes. Oh, no. A smite on a minion. Ooh, that was a bit messy. Team Secret getting lost in the sauce here, but 𝘀𝘁𝗀 has just wandered up, stunned into the slap, and 𝘀𝘁𝗀 just gets over the wall. I thought he was dead for sure, but nope. Surfs on out of there. Both teams looking a little sloppy there.
Yeah, but the massive thing is 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀 has this lead in levels, so 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀 really can't contest this. If he can maybe land a smite to steal that away, not going to happen because Gnar is just there first to make sure he's covered. Now they're going to have control over the Scuttle Crowd. That's going to be an even more of a lead in terms of farming experience for 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀, making up for the fact that, yeah, 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀 committed to that top side, got a kill, but that's not really enough. That's what's keeping them even in this game. But there's just so much CS and experience being the main factor that's keeping 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀 down. However, oh no, never mind. 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 has just hit 6 as well, so no chance to really make a return play with the Unstoppable Force to try and get 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 back into this game as a sort of force to be reckoned with.
I mean, they still can. Gnar ult is obviously very conditional. It just comes down to a lot of coordination. If he's in mini Gnar, he can't use the ult, so it doesn't really matter that he hit 6. And there is going to be an invade here to try and steal away this blue buff. CBL spots it out, but I don't think he wants to mess with it. Udyr is very far away, so 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀 should catch up a little bit in CS, but he's still 15 CS down. A bad situation for sure. And he's just going to start the dragon. Very bold here from 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀. And he calls it off.
Yeah, I think they see the fact that Artifact has the pressure at the moment, so don't want to try and get yourself caught in that dragon pit. Get your Krugs. Try and keep your farm as close as you can. Getting that blue buff is going to be massive for you, and even more importantly, it's going to keep it out of the hands of Artifact, so 𝘀𝘁𝗀 can try and punish this mid laner even more. And that is going to be a big part of your win condition, getting these late game carries of Azir and Tristana to the point where they have their items, get them as much of an advantage over their opposing numbers as they can. Currently it's very even, but that's a huge win in terms of how these two champs scale compared to their counterparts.
Very true, as CS leads are definitely concerning for BTS. They're falling behind in tempo very badly as the recall comes in for Artifact. Let's see what he can pick up here. 𝘁𝘁𝗆 clearing out that topside ward. Decent vision control. They will secure their own blue buff as well. 𝘁𝑺y getting that one.
But they
actually cancel.
They read this. Yeah, they read. They notice 𝘁𝑺y going off to the top side of the map, so they read. 𝘁𝘁𝗆's probably going to be there handing off the blue buff. They have bot pressure. That's going to be an easy dragon pickup for the side of DNK. And 𝘁𝘁𝗆 not really getting sort of out jungled here. Not really being able to make things happen. That's kind of unfortunate from Big Car.
A little bit. That was a little bit unfortunate there for sure. It's that Infernal Drake has been secured for Team Secret. And yeah, I agree. This is just two farming junglers going at it, and 𝘁𝘁𝗺 just does the job better than Graves at the moment. I'm super not confident in the pick. I know it's a bit of a meme on this channel to talk about Graves. We definitely played it up last split, and I think Graves is even worse than he was last split.
Graves was an actually okay champ last year.
Yeah, he actually was pretty good. We were definitely mostly joking last split. He's actually pretty bad this split, so I'm not happy to see 𝘁𝘁𝗆 playing him and defaulting to him. We'll have to see if he can prove us wrong. Typically, whenever we say something's bad, it ends up popping off, so I don't know if that works when the game started. But we'll find out, as they have started up the Rift Herald. They are spotted, but Team Secret doesn't look like they really want to tango.
Yeah, they need to keep Big Car down at the in the bot lane, and basically your best bet, I would say, your hope is to actually try and force 𝘁𝘁𝗆 to respond into the top side, because either they're going to give it up for free, or if they bring 𝘁𝘁𝗆 up, you have a Tristana that can just beat on turrets forever and take them down extremely fast. But the choice is made by Team Secret. They give up the Rift Herald, and 𝘁𝘁𝗆 actually currently has the push in the bot lane, so gonna be a one plate traded. That's just really good for BTS right now. They can convert that into a play now with Rell and 𝘁𝘁𝗆 reaching or coming down the bot lane. But if Team Secret back off and give that turret open for free, that is going to be a very quick turret take with Herald and Tristana.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they actually get over there. I think 𝘁𝑺y probably wants to reset as well. I don't think they're going to use that Herald for a little bit. Do still have 3 minutes until turret plates drop. So they're not on the clock. They are currently gold negative from the play, but still have potential to go positive because, of course, they have the Herald. Other than that, it's very, very even. In fact, it's dead even. Both teams within 100 gold of each other, which is about as even as it gets. DNK will just rumble himself into the jungle here, steal away a bag of chicken, as he continues to grow his CS lead in this jungle matchup. I don't think that's going to change. 𝘁𝘁𝗺 doesn't exactly slow down.
Yeah, and you're seeing who really has sorry, let me restart that point. You can see the control on who has control of the game. It's perfectly exemplified in the bot side jungle, because you can see where the wards are. BTS, very defensive, all within their jungle.
Oh, there was a ward there. 𝘁𝘁𝗆𝗆 didn't know he was hatching it. It's a solar flare. It's a killer instinct. It's a dead Graves.
And Team Secret have their wards in BTS's jungle as well, so they can make the aggressive plays. DNK going to walk towards 𝘁𝑺y, but a good Shrooma shuffle will knock him right back.
Yep, just pops the ult, surfs over the wall, 𝘁𝑺y nice and safe. But still, the ultimate has to be expended there. 𝘁𝑺y loses any playmaking potential just for a little bit. But Team Secret did a great job exemplifying your point there. The vision line was forward for them and rewarded them with a kill. 𝘁𝘁𝗆𝗆 perhaps being a little bit silly, lurking in a bush that he hadn't swept.
I think he was just lurking, trying to waiting for a red buff to spawn, or trying to figure out what he was doing. In the end, yeah, just gets blown up and wastes a lot of time, gives over more gold to the enemy team. Now he's going to try and make something happen on this top side, which I would argue is probably the worst place you'd be looking to drop this hell. You don't really want to feed your Malphite gold. But TH, he's now got
go
that.
for a play.
Yeah, if they can pick up the kill, but they're not going to. Coated backing off very early. So if maybe they either wait for a teleport, nope, they're just going to go in and take this turret, get as much gold as they can to track. Okay,
He
Coated.
is TPing. Very risky, but I think he's going to be okay. The question is, can he hold the tower? He should be able to hold it for a little while. It'll still be on one plate. Of course, towers are very, very tanky when they're on the last one.
So mad.
But they're going under tower. There's the unstoppable force. The damage is coming in. Coated has to try and get to Mega Gnar, but he can't do it. That is a kill traded back, and the rock moves up to 2.
Yeah, that's
Going to be tower as well. 𝘀𝘀𝘆 getting all this gold.
Yeah, they're going to give the solo gold over to 𝘀𝘀𝘆, which is absolutely the correct move. Brings him back into sort of relative parity to DNK, gets him back into this game because he was falling really far behind just in the CS league. He's 40 CS down to the Udyr, and that's really, really bad for a Graves, who needs to be pushing his advantage and trying to counter jungle more than anything else. But found 2 kills, good ganks towards the Malphite, but now Ral's going in.
𝘁𝗀𝗻 doing well. Saw that CBL used his stun on the tower, but they're trying to turn it around. That's a lot of damage from the solar flare. Udyr coming in at the speed of sound. Gets knocked back, but it doesn't matter because Slater finishes it off. TH comes in. He doesn't have the unstoppable force though, but 𝘁𝗀𝗆 gets the first kill. Leaps on forward. Can they catch on to CBL? Here comes the slow. I don't think this Leona can do very much. The Pengu is on them, and boom, it goes. 𝘁𝗀𝗆 benefiting from that play from the Malphite.
Very good use of the rocket jump to clear the wave as they go for the play, but 𝘁𝗀𝗆, he has to be a little bit careful. Still has the ultimate, so it's not like DNK can do too much. But great turnaround from BTS. That passage of play really brings them back, brings them into the gold lead at about 1.5k. Might lose the top lane turret, but here we see using all their abilities to clear the wave while they go in on CBL, so he ends up taking a lot of turret damage. Good use of the Buster Shot to keep 𝘁𝗀𝗆 safe and buy enough time for TH to come in. Unfortunately, no ultimate, so they can't make a huge play, but the slows are absolutely more than enough. That's going to be 2 quick kills to 𝘁𝗀𝗆, gives him a massive boost towards his Kraken Slayer, going to get him closer and closer to that point where he can be that super long range hyper carry and really, really be that damage threat that BTS needs to cut through the likes of DNK.
And of course, like in the VCS, we're so used to players like Slater sitting in the mid lane on this. Sorry, I said Slater, I meant Dearwall. In the mid lane on this Tristana being an early game threat. People forget Tristana's very, very strong in the late game as well. So 𝘁𝗀𝗆 very happy to get 2 early kills and he's just going to chill and, as you said, become a hyper carry. It's going to be very difficult for anyone to actually do anything. Udyr can't get to a Tristana.
Yeah, he's a little bit behind Slater at the moment, and it's only going to get a little bit further as this turret will eventually fall down on the next wave. But as things go on, that's about what you expect. Slater does spike a lot earlier, especially if you're not going for the sort of Hail of Blades mid lane ignite build where you're just looking to get these solo kills. You're definitely going to see Slater spike earlier with the Collector coming in set as the second item, but eventually range is king and you can't really do anything about that.
In goes the rock, in goes the shuffle. Syndra, bad champ.
And TH is showing Clockwork's prime #1 rule of League of Legends. Bring CC. Because that was a lot of CC and that was a very dead Syndra after the fact. And TH, he's looking very good. He was struggling a little bit in the early lane, but that's just Malphite. That's just how it's meant to go. And now he's wandering around the map, making lots of plays happen for his team. Got the 2 kills in the bot lane, got the kill in the mid lane. He's providing so much for his team, and he's making a very big statement after that last game that, yeah, he is still a good top laner worthy of the VCS.
Yeah, for sure. It's he's not a Vlad one trick. He can play Malphite as well. Then again, I think most people can play Malphite. Always a good fallback option.
He doesn't do much.
He doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
As the ADC's trading farm back and forth, a bit of the ping pong begins in the mid lane. It won't last very long though. Okay, lurking around as well. Artifact up on the top side. Still just trying to catch some of this farm, and they're going to try and make a play onto TH. They have to land some CC so that Slater can actually get in. Oh, TH, that's a wall, man! That's a wall! You got to go over that! He ults way too short, doesn't make it over, goes to the grave, and Slater is licking his lips.
That's a new one. That's a new one. Haven't seen that before. Okay. Kind of cursed him a little bit. We were singing his praises just for him to ult a wall.
Tried to knock it up. Tried to knock up the map.
Yeah. Doesn't work out for them. That is going to be a bit of an issue because now the third Drake is up. Coming up, as is at the same time TH is. They have this Rift Herald to help force pressure in the mid lane, and with the Tristana on top of that, they are probably going to just melt this turret. TH had teleport, so it will be a 5v5 come if there decides to be a contest, but...
Yep, there is artifacts teleporting. Coded in Mega Gnar. Can he find a way in? He's just hopping forward. There it is. He hits BTS into the wall. That gets the cleanse, but that's about it. He has to now find his way out. That's so damage. Artifact on the backside. Can he damage CBL? Throws down a solar flare, but it's not enough damage. Slater can't get into this fight. They're not dealing any damage. BTS gets 2. 𝗀𝗏𝗀𝗀 gets the 3rd. He actually gets 2 for himself. And Team Secret, that was one of the shittiest team fights I've ever seen.
You said they weren't doing damage. They're going to be doing even less as TH and 𝗀𝗏𝗀𝗀 are going to get a Mountain Drake's worth of stats on there. Now they're going to move smooth. They're going to move straight over to this Baron. They can absolutely melt it. It's all down to Slater, but I don't think he's going to try anything. Oh,
they are actually calling a teleport. Yeah, it's not a particularly fast Baron, and it's even less healthy. Taking it at 20 minutes, Baron's actually still a bit of a threat. So they are really low. They secure the buff, but they have to secure the retreat. Coded on the run, needs to get into Mega Gnar, hasn't managed to do it yet. There's a tag. Slater is able to enter the fight. Coded, he has the Gnar bar full, but he can't get in. 5 Baron buffs will escape. Team Secret, this team, how can they be so good in the team fights in Game 1 and then do that? What is this team?
They have very poor decision-making, apparently, despite having really good decision-making. It is the curse of Team Secret. They are ever inconsistent, and this has given BTS the way back into this game. Despite what looks like a potential setup for a Dragon Snowball, they give up. They come into that Dragon fight. They set themselves up beautifully. Yeah, we're going to get the replay right here. That's timed that really well. But here they force 𝗀𝗏𝗀𝗀 out. Coated, he's going to run out of Mega Gnar. Right here, you don't fight. You turn and burst the Dragon, take that soul point and run away. But they just go for the fight, get blown up, walk in one at a time like lemmings.
Artifact missed everything.
TH's ultimate comes back off cooldown, picks up that final kill onto Artifact, and then it's just... Then when we see the Baron thing, Coated goes way too early. He doesn't have any Mega Gnar. Of course not. He's just respawned. So it just means he sort of funnels in and just throws a boomerang. He's like, well, I'm useless now. What do I do? But you know what? You know who does things? Tristana with Baron buff.
Yeah, there's now 4-0 Tristana with the Baron buff walking on in. This is going to be the bot lane inhibitor just going down. There's absolutely no defense. Look at Slater and DNK. You guys might need to back off. Glory's not going to try and interrupt bees or anything like that. They are going to call it, but it's a mid lane inner for the bot lane inhib. Now, there is an argument to say that taking this inhib isn't a great decision, as it's very safe farm. Something that often comes up.
Yes.
But, I think it's okay in this one. The thing is, there's no Baron. So bot lane in it. Normally, bot lane inhib is actually very valuable because it's so far away from Baron. But there's no Baron on the map, so...
I will say this. In this case, it's still fine while the Baron buff is up, because you can try and utilize that pressure to take out these remaining outer turrets. you're gonna eventually force 𝘀𝗀 away. He's gonna have to respond to those waves. Actually, it's most likely going to be Artifact with their teleport coming off cooldown now. So if I'm BTS, I probably don't keep shoving for this mid lane turret. I probably want to look to rotate into the top lane, take out that last turret that's outside the base. De-engage is going for a cheeky CS mission.
Just snuck over KFC.
Take that before BTS can. Now they don't have the Baron buff, that's worn off. Now we start to see where the super minions sort of bite BTS for the next minute or so, because they don't really have anything to play for. It's just going to be free farmed, funneled up into whoever decides to collect that. But it does last 5 minutes. It is a 5-minute timer, so there will be at least a couple of minutes, or at least a minute, where that bot lane pressure is there while the Baron is on the map. It's going to be there while the Dragon is on the map. So it's not going to be completely useless. There's going to be a little bit of time where it's inefficient, but overall, it's more. There's more time where it's useful than time where it isn't.
I agree. I think in the end it is okay. TH is currently between two members of Team Secret, but does not care. This is a big Malphite. He has 2 completed items. He has the Chem Tank and the Thornmail. He just doesn't really take any damage at this point. He is a very large lad. It's hard.
Damage kind of falling off.
Yeah, exactly. Team Secret in general, we need a bit of a hero performance out of Slater. Syndra is not going to do very much into the very tanky front line of the Malphite. Has to find good flanks so far. I hate to say it, but Artifact has not been performing on those flanks. He's had 2 lovely flanks in teamfights and completely fluffed both of them. So, he's got to pick that game up. And might be a little bit of Team Slater once again, as he's the only one in a winning position. He's got all the kills on his team.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that collector is looking quite a bit more useless right now because of that lethality stat has been completely undone by these 2 Mountain Drakes. And if the game goes long enough, it's going to be even worse as BTS managed to maintain control of the map. We can see good vision setup in the top side of the map. There's still a minute until the Baron, so if they can get this turret down, that's going to be really good. Tristana has made the way there, so good chance it goes down.
Yeah, it's good.
Yep, there it goes. But now, if I'm BTS, I would like you all to back off at once, reset together. Don't stagger your resets like this, because if you're all off the map, that's much less time you don't have pressure than a staggered recall where you have some pressure, but because it's still reduced, it's still not effective. So sync your backs. That would have worked much better for them. Now they've given up. Now they're just going to be less effective for a longer period of time. And that's going to give Team Secret the opportunity to move into the jungle, reset the wards. And now BTS, they really need to pick up some wards and fight back for that vision for that Baron.
Well, they do currently have the 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆𝘆 in front of the Baron, so they can see it. No chance of Team Secret sneaking it for a little while at least. Not that I think they would even be bold enough to attempt it. It would be an insane decision for Team Secret, as BTS is in pretty full control of this game at the moment. I do agree. I think syncing up their backs, getting a bit more vision down. Their vision's actually pretty bad at the moment. Would help.
They had good vision, but because they staggered it, they can't like immediately contest the vision. So, and you really want that
Baron, though.
Yeah, you want that quadrant lit up, because right now they can't
health,
see them
it's already
approaching.
going low. There's no steal. DNK, the Prince of Thieves, can't get in there. Elio dives in. He gets a start to CBL. There's the Syndra ult. Ooh, it dealt about 200 damage to Rel. Congratulations, really good. Artifact hits the 2-man stun, but they've already backed off. That is just going to be a free Baron buff, and Team Secret looks like they're capitulating.
Yeah, and now they have the Baron. Now, at this point, you could say, now they're looking to break open this mid lane inhibitor. That can give them an easy rotate into the bot lane inhibitor, but they just need to get a little bit closer to it. 𝘁𝗀𝗆 still doesn't have it doesn't have max range, so it still has to get reasonably close to the turret. But at this
They've got the
point,
sun disc,
BTS
though.
have such a commanding position. Team Secret cannot push out. And
Here we
Elliot's
go.
gone.
Elio going in. There's a big stun out of Artifact. The Solar Flare is good. Allows him to solo out the Rel, but it's traded back straight onto Coded. TH diving on forward, gets the knock up onto Artifact. There's a lot of stopwatches being used. And there's the shuffle. Glory is glorious. 𝘁𝗶𝗆 ascends. And BTS will lock in a game 3.
They absolutely have the damage to take down these turrets, and Glory redeeming himself for game 1 with that massive 𝘁𝗶𝗆 shuffle there. Finishes up the team fight. That looks like it could have been sketchy, but that's BTS taking us to a game 3, showing that, once again, they cannot be 2-0'd.
We should have known. It's Team Secret versus BTS. This was always going to a game 3. They both of these teams have played a lot of game 3s, but BTS with a performance just as dominant as game 1 from Team Secret in the end. So it's hard to call who will come out on top in the third game. We will, of course, be back in just a little bit, if production is okay with it, with the VCS English analyst desk. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. See you then.
Awake to my voice and hear the call within. Embrace the fear inside. Surrender your mind to mine again.
I just want you by my side. In this moment in time, feels I'm crossing a line. I'm not looking to set things right. This tear I cry falls like healing rain, softly soothes my pain. This surrender, it feels like I kiss the feathers of a hummingbird in flight, breaking up into a million specks of light. Take the shape of an angel in the night, carry you to peaceful peace. My home is my skin, and in the world of within, all I have is my love for you. If I conceal my fear, will I be in the clear? Or am I giving life to phantom pain? 'Cause it's playing out every note in the score. I surrender once more, but as my tears fall, they still kiss the feathers of a hummingbird in flight, breaking up into a million specks of light. Take the shape of an angel in the night, carry you to peaceful peace. Grant me one wish, send me one more kiss on the whispering wind. Like white horses running in the fields, something new begins. This tear I cry falls like healing rain, softly soothes my pain. This surrender, it feels like I'll kiss the feathers of a hummingbird in flight, breaking up into a million specks of light. Take the shape of an angel in the night, carry you to peaceful fields. In your dreams of peaceful fields, in your dreams of peaceful fields.
Welcome back, BTS. They come back firing. They will not go quietly into that good night. And they have uncovered the secret to beating Secret, and that is Clockwork's patented 𝘂cie.
Ah,
Big
lovely.
𝘂cie. I guess. It's as easy as that.
Big 𝘂cie, Pick Rock, Yup Rock. It all works out fantastically. So,
Like, as an Italian, I can like, from personal experience, I can say that the easiest recipes are the best ones. You don't need
It's true.
anything more than simple stuff. Like in this, at this level, like we're seeing Secret against BTS, which are like to the lower end of the standings. You don't need to pull off amazing combos. You just need to play it simple and be good at fundamentals, and that's enough.
yeah, absolutely. It absolutely seemed to be enough this game. They brought out the TH, big man, did a lot of nothing in the first game, did a hell of a lot this time around. Yulwei, what? I guess we're going to have to say what really fell apart for Team Secret in that game, what gave BTS that opening, and then what does Team Secret need to do to change?
Draft better champions, for example. Now, it's really hard to pinpoint one moment in the game where everything fell apart. I feel like the dragon fight comes to mind, right? You two on the cast were very adamant about the horrendous dragon fight. It definitely was one of the lowest points in the game for Secret. But yeah, overall, just positioning, Syndra was absolutely useless all game. The highlight for Syndra is just using her ultimate into 𝘁, and yeah, it dealt like 100 damage. It's like, okay, I guess we can surrender. Our mid laner is not dealing any damage, so let's just go next. I think their drafts need to improve. Syndra is a bad champion. Gnar is a very conditional champion. 𝘂𝘀 is a strong champion, but don't pair him with champs that need to rely on you to make the first move. He needs some assistance in engaging, and Leona and Gnar are just not good enough. So I once again didn't like their draft, and I feel like it's good to see them getting punished for suboptimal drafts.
Yeah, so before I'm going to go over and ask Clockwork his opinion on what Secret needs to change, if we can bring up the predictions again, if that's possible. Apparently we can't. Oh no, Spoods, don't do that or you're fired. Anyway, we can bring them up. We're all banking on a Team Secret win here. We all agreed. Well, Yulwei changed his prediction last minute, Yulwei, get out of here. You're worthless. But the smart ones here said BTS will not go quietly. BTS cannot be 2-0'd.
So
what do we need, Clockwork?
Lose, right?
Clockwork? What do we need from Team Secret to make us actually correct?
So I don't think that Secret draft was like so bad overall. I think it had some merits to it, but the 𝘂𝘀 was tremendously off. And I think, for example, a very good pick instead of the 𝘂𝘀 could have been 𝗁𝗏, for example. Could have still brought some 𝘁cie, but also provided more options to follow up on the engage, to set up the Syndra, to set up the Gnar, something like that. And I think, some more flavor to the team fights is what Secret needs at the moment, because, the 𝘂𝘀 did get his very large early advantage thanks to his laner. He could very often drive through Draktar's jungle and abuse him. He was like 40 CS ahead at like 14 minutes, so he was very far ahead. But then it didn't turn into nothing relevant because he could not be of any, like, he had zero agency during team fights, and so this large advantage was completely cut off from team fights. And Secret really needed that, because the advantage that they built in the early game, then they couldn't use it.
So we're gonna need to see DNK try and transfer his individual jungle lead into these team fights. We're gonna want to see those sort of champions he can do that on. The Nocturne he's been good at. That now they are back on blue side. They have access to first pick. BTS has to be a little bit more careful about their bans, because they do not have access to first pick 𝘁. But Team Secret having that 𝘁cie priority may just throw BTS that advantage they need in that draft phase. So we see pretty much the same bans as before coming out from the side of Team Secret and BTS.
BTS, please don't get complacent. Keep banning Nocturne.
Yeah, I want to see the Nocturne again. Worked well last game, but they banned Camille, so might not go to the Nocturne ban again.
They banned Camille in game 2 as well. So
that's fair.
They banned both. But we're waiting for Team Secret to decide. They banned the 𝘂𝘀, keep it out the hands of DNK. Very smart move.
Self-bans, very effective.
So Lilia once again open, could be the first pick here for the secret. 𝘁𝗂𝗍 is another one that comes to mind, of course. 𝘁, okay, taking it away from Elio, very good
pick.
move. I like that. Yeah, 𝘁 is super strong. Of course, you always want to prevent the 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆 combanation, so I don't think we're gonna see 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆, okay, on the same team, because it's such a strong engage combo. It's super good in lane as well. So you basically have to pick 𝘁𝗁 here, which opens up Team Secret to mold their team composition around the 𝘁𝗁, try to go towards the more compact team fighting, which 𝘁𝗁 struggles with. So Xayah could be a pick here, Aphelios could be a pick here, very strong with this kind of team composition. So a lot of options for Team Secret.
Still want to see Ezreal. Not because it matches at all with your discussion on compact team fighting, but I still want to see Slater play Ezreal.
I'm gonna add that this is the 10th 𝘁𝗁 game for 𝘁𝗶𝗀𝗀, so they definitely, Team Secret definitely did let open a very comfortable pick for the AD carry, but also the answering Xayah. We're back in the 𝘁𝗁 meta all over again. Of course, there are other ADCs as well, but
it's gonna be stopped next week. 11-4 is Caitlyn Senna territory. I still have no idea why we don't see Senna. Senna is so broken. Every other league first picks Senna. VCS like, nah, we don't do that here. Our supports can't farm, so no Senna, I guess.
Okay, the Nidalee is curious because it's once again a champion that really wants to be abusive in the early game and invade, gank, farm. She does a lot of things, but guess what she doesn't do? Crowd control. So this is very risky from TS. I hope that they have in mind something maybe for the top lane for Coated to add some more spice, and also on the other side Gnar for TH.
Another
So-
now.
The Na pick seems a little bit interesting with the because now Team Secret has the ability to keep banning junglers, ban the Lilia, ban the Graves, and force Drakthar to go really deep into this champion pool. Because it's 11.3, Pantheon is dead as a jungler, Talia also not very high priority. Do we
Can still be
maybe see
played.
Do we maybe see Drakthar go to something like Gragas, is what I was about to say.
Yeah,
What-
why not?
I mean, we have to see the bans that come out first. Lilia, that's
Lilia makes a lot of
predicted.
sense here.
But-
Absolutely, yeah.
Very interested to see how far down Drakthar can go. And similarly, I want to see
I mean, the 5
what is
play
Coded's
is just
after.
play Morgana jungle here. Completely deny 𝘁's engage, scale into late game, give hyper carry to 𝘁𝗶𝗀𝗀. Yeah, it's never going to happen. I know.
Oh, this is very curious that BTS blind pick the Gnar and then ban top laners. I don't know how frequent this is in competitive play or in VCS, but usually you would ban the champions first and then pick what you want. BTS put the I don't know how you say it in English, but put the cart in front of the horses or something like that.
Yeah, put the cart before the horse. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Now TS.
Yeah, they really wanted the Gnar. They really wanted the Gnar.
Yeah, the Secret still has the option to counter the Gnar, but I don't know if they are going to put many energies to that because they can seem to go for a.
Okay.
Let's go. This is one of
He-
Dr.
he-
signature picks, and I think he's 2-0 on the champion so far.
I think he quickly opened up 𝘁cie in between games, and I was checking the big match over there. And Damwon just played the
Prowler's
Kayn
Claw.
again. So I guess he was like, okay, Kenyon wanted to play Kayn. I want to play Kayn now too. Let's go Kayn.
Definitely Canyon taking inspiration from Drakthar.
Whoa, okay. This is a
What the hell?
interesting turn of events for Team
We
Secret.
AoE boys. We AoE.
Okay.
When is the last time we saw a Gangplank in the VCS? Because I feel like there was a time when Gangplank was near broken and we just never saw it. Please. Please. No! Don't do that!
I was hyped at Qiyana, but of course it's going to be the Orianna. It's like Glory's most played champion. Of course, it wasn't going to be Qiyana. This is also very comfort track for BTS. I think they have pretty much everything that their players might be asking for. So I like it.
So we have two very interesting ball carriers here in this draft for BTS. We have the very obvious old, well-known combo of Alistar Orianna. Can work out. It's a big wombo combo. But then we also have the slippery wall diving Kayn coming from the other angle. You can actually, I believe, if the timing works out correctly, I think you can ult Kayn into someone and then ult there with Orianna too. I'm not 100% sure, but it should work like that. At least for a split second or something.
We're getting confirmation you can do that.
So that should be a very cool thing to look out for. I think Kayn Orianna can really snowball mid lane if they play it correctly.
Also, I want to add a bit of criticism towards TS draft. Yes, Mabinogi, this is going to be, like, my vote is going to be for BTS because Secret has a lot of AoE damage in the Gangplank, in the Rumble, but what they miss is a way to keep their enemies inside the AoE damage. So
they have rollout. That's all.
Yeah,
right?
that can provide some CC, but this will rely a lot on his execution.
All right, Yulwei, your final thoughts.
Yeah, this is all on 𝘀𝘀. Oh no, he's Conqueror. Okay, yep, Team Secret win the series.
Okay.
Split vote.
It is a split vote. 𝘂𝐶 versus no 𝘂𝐶. I think we've had the thing so far. I've said 𝘂𝐶 wins, and now every day I have you here, so I'm going to complain. They hovered Zoe.
They did. I don't want to dwell on that though. I want to expand on what Yulwei was saying.
I want to dwell on it.
𝘀𝘀, look, buddy, I love you. You've picked the Kayn. I like that, but it's not red Kayn meta. It's blue Kayn meta. Blue Kayn, real strong right now. Red Kayn, kind of poo. He's gone Conqueror. Conqueror means red Kayn. Because it does nothing for blue, and that's a really bad decision. If you want to play like a big tanky boy in the jungle, just play a big tanky boy. There's a flash burned at level 1. Elio headbutts, double flashes burned. A very good start for Team Secret, and they invade the blue buff.
Yeah, blowing just the flash on CBL with a great crash down targeting. Gets 2 flashes away from the bot lane of BTS. However, that isn't probably going to amount to too much because of the fact that it is, at the end of the day, a Nidalee who is not the best ganker, especially towards something like the 𝘀, who doesn't have exactly the point and click CC to lock someone down for the side of Nidalee to really take advantage of that. Plus, with the Alistar being able to deny a lot of potential with the headbutt, it should be good. They should be able to get away from that mostly unpunished. There's not a lot of dive from the top lane, for example, because there's a gangplank. But going to go back to this 𝘀𝘀 on the Kayn point, I don't necessarily think red Kayn in particular is that bad.
You might have a chance to think about it. As Coded is taking some pressure. It is just going to be damage though. The pirate will walk away. I think the red Kayn decision is incredibly silly because red Kayn is straight up worse than other tank junglers at the moment, and blue Kayn into this team comp from Team Secret, the rest of his team could literally go get dinner and he'd win the game by himself.
I mean, I definitely don't disagree, but I can think of one main argument for going Conqueror, even if you are a little bit unsure, is bit of a scrap. DNK did get his blue buff.
I don't think he did. No, he didn't, because he stole it.
𝘀𝘀
got this buff. 𝘀𝘀 got this blue. Ooh,
You're
he is getting
correct.
pinched though. He goes over the wall, but he's on the side of the tracks and he goes down. A little bit silly there.
And that's a lovely buff reset for DNK. So he's going to end up being able to pick up quite a lot. Gonna get this crab. May be able to just push, get artifacts help to push through this mid lane and go straight into double crabbing. Yep, that's exactly what's going to happen. So that is a huge advantage for DNK coming out of this early game. Kayn is going to be set so far behind. And this is where maybe the Conqueror comes in, because though Blue Kayn is super effective against a squishy comp, if he gets behind, he is an assassin from behind, which is not very good. Usually assassins, when they do not get rolling, they tend to fall pretty far down. Here we're just going to see good smite out of 𝘀𝗀𝗺, but we see the top lane, the pressure was forced. The Gangplank managed to force away the Gnar, and thus 𝘀𝗀𝗺 was unable to find his way out. Artifact also having pressure in that mid lane, but
Weird flash out of 𝘀𝗀𝗺. Like, you're never living there. I guess you forced Nidalee to flash, but is that 1-for-1 worth it? We'll have to come back to it, as there is a dive on the bot side. 4v4 though, as Glory arrives. Will go down will go down, as will 𝘂𝗶𝗆. It's a 1-for-1. I think Team Secret needs to get out of here now. More orbs for Kayn. So he is behind, but at least he's picking up a lot of these passive orbs. Fairly happy on that front.
yeah, and if DNK isn't careful, he could get collapsed upon.
Oh, DNK, do not jump over that wall. It's just a Gromp. Are we flipping the game for a Gromp? Oh my
We are
word.
flipping the game for a
Glory,
Gromp.
He's getting burninated. Artifact will pick up the kill. DNK hops over
Oh,
the wall,
no.
does well. A
They
second
win.
kill onto Big Coro. Here is Artifact. They're charging forward, and Team Secret may have just won the game on the spot as they'll pick up a third kill. 𝘂𝗶𝗆 probably didn't need to steal that, but it doesn't matter. They get a dragon as well, and my word, BTS just got rocked.
BTS does not have a strong early game team composition for that skirmish. Team Secret recognize that as they go in for it. They're going to pick up this dragon, and they already 2,000 gold ahead, plus an Infernal Drake. They are off to the races, and it's not like they scale badly. They have a Xayah, they have a Gangplank. Their late game damage is absolutely nothing to be snuffed at. But here we see Team Secret recognizing BTS do not have a lot of early game damage. That is only a level 5 Orianna and a Kayn. It's a Kayn. It doesn't do anything until it evolves. It's a level 1 Kayn. It doesn't have, well, level 4, sorry, I suppose. It hasn't evolved yet. Does not have its evolution. It is baby. It is baby. Needs its moonstone.
He's small baby. Doesn't do well at all.
Pokemon's on my
and-
brain now, thank you.
Yeah, we were talking about the Pokemon Direct in the in break, and oh, look at that, Big Coro's dead. So Team Secret, just didn't want to win game 2, I guess. just wanted to play 3 games. They just like being on stage. Fair enough, I guess.
Okay, so
'Cause they've won this game pretty damn early.
yeah, and it is just a lot down to draft compositions and playing around those strengths. BTS's mid jungle is basically puts out negative pressure. Orianna before 6 doesn't really do a lot, does not provide a lot in skirmishes. Kayn, as said before, doesn't do anything until he can become either red or blue. So it's just Big Coro overstepping and 𝘂𝗶𝗆 being able to do a lot of damage. Did 𝘂𝗈 even die here as well? No, he had the flash, but Big Coro does not have. Oh no, did actually have the flash, but
but
it didn't matter.
𝘂𝗆
The flash remount, just very good, well played out of 𝘂𝗶𝗆, and that's Big Coro. That's the main win condition for BTS, completely in the hole, down 0-2. It's going to be tough for them to come back, and GP slowly building up. He's got a small CS advantage. He's got that passive as well, so he's going to be quite a bit ahead of TH. And a cull and an assist. There's GP well on his way to being that big crit bank plank that can 1v9 late game team fights with huge AoE damage.
Yeah, and I mean, we haven't even addressed the 3-0 rumble in the mid lane. 𝘁𝘁 was the big benefactor of that fight in the jungle.
Oh, yeah.
Just went in and burninated the countryside, making 𝘁𝗀𝘀 proud. Really impressive. I was super sus of this rumble pick. I still don't think it was a fantastic pick. But when you get 3 kills at 5 minutes, anything's a good pick. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you just managed to exert so much pressure. Early 𝘁𝗀𝗆, one of the most efficient items on Rumble in the game. You just do so much extra damage with that penetration. Already well on the way towards the Night Harvester. I believe that's what Rumble builds. It's either that or the Rocket Belt.
Yeah, you can.
So,
He's a bit flexible on his mythics. There's the equalizer, not very well angled there, but Glory has to be careful. But he sniffs it out. DNK can't land a spear. 𝘁𝘁𝗺 will come in to try and clear this wave, just covering his mid laner off. But that was 1 harpoon, and 𝘁𝘁𝗺 just gets chunked.
𝘁𝘁𝗺 playing like it's 11-4 there, taking all the way from his mid laner, but was probably hoping to land a bit more damage onto 𝘁𝘁𝗺 to get those orbs and get him closer and closer to that Rust form. Because he's very far behind. He's gonna need that 𝘁𝘁 to help set up Glory and Big 𝘁𝗀 to really be the big carries here. Because at this point, you are probably going to melt too quickly if you are the Shadow Kayn. If you try to dive in on top of a...
He has a phage. He's definitely...
Yeah, he's definitely going.
I mean, I think that's a huge mistake. Kayn is in the meta at the moment. Kayn is not a troll pick. And you go blue, because Prowler's Claw is really strong on...
it's a lot of lethality, and lethality is still kind of a redonkulous stat.
Yeah, it is a horrific amount of lethality, but... 𝘁𝘁𝗺 apparently not getting the memo about why Kayn is back. I mean, to be fair, even if he was going blue and had the Dark Harvest, with the way this early game went, I don't think anything really changes. This was just a horrifically bad early game for BTS. They just fumbled incredibly hard in that jungle fight. And, I mean, they're 4k gold down at 11. This is something normally only 𝘁𝗻 can do.
Yeah, they are just absolutely in the hole, and you just see 𝘁𝘁𝗆 just walks forward with his Q, does so much damage to Glory. And I guess we have to look to the old, how does the BTS team come back? And it's not hard to see how they come back in theory. They have this could be a good start. Nope, TH not going to overcommit and try and dive. But it's not hard to see how they come back. They have the perfect ultimates for that big comeback team fight. They have the Gnar, they have the Shockwave, and Alistar always good at doing that, but Glory using the ultimate in mid lane just to try and pressure 𝘁𝘁𝗆 out to keep himself safe. But DNK still looking to set something up.
𝘁𝘁𝗺 is here, could slip through the wall, get that speed boost, try and go in onto 𝘁𝘁𝗆. Calls it off because they see the reinforcements. There's an equalizer. Are they going to go under tower? Nope, not Flash. BTS managed to not fall further behind, but they are still not trying to catch up. I think the real answer to how does BTS come back, it's not in their hands. Team Secret needs to really throw. I don't think this is in BTS's hands.
And what's also not in BTS's hands is maybe Big 𝘁𝗀 is alive. Nope, they decide not to go for a 𝘁𝘁𝗆 a little too close for their liking. So gonna play it a little bit safer. They should just be able to pressure out this bot lane tower. They have the Rift Herald as well. Gotta give that all over to Slater. Already has a Xanthos Reaver. That's gonna get him quite close to his Noon Quiver and towards that Gale Force, I presume. Maybe it's Kraken Slayer. It's always... It could really go either way. I never know. It's really down to player preference for that. But they're even going to get the second charge off onto this tower. That's going to be massive, because if Team Secret wins another team fight, that is going to melt within the seconds. DNK going to pick up another blue buff as well. BTS are just losing absolutely everything on the bot side of the map. And he's built a little bit of a CS lead, but as we've said before, with everything else that's gone on, maybe he's about even on gold with that turret plate, because there's a cull, there's extra passive, there's an extra assist for Coated. He's doing absolutely fine in this top lane.
Yeah, this Gangplank is doing exactly what it needs to do. It's just not dying. It's just sitting there. It's staying even in terms of CS. In terms of real gold, almost certainly he is ahead. I can pretty much guarantee that.
True. There's also the global gold from the turret on top of that. So,
exactly.
Yeah, he's almost ahead.
He's definitely ahead, but even if he wasn't, even if he was just dead even, that's what you want your Gangplank to do. Coda doesn't really need to do anything this game. He just needs to just chill, let the rest of the team play the 4v4, and they're happy. The fact of the matter is that 4v4 is going so well. It is the Night Harvester for the Rumble. Already picked up. I know we were just kind of thinking about what mythic he might go for. Question answered. And we have 2 mythics completed before we have a single one over on the side of the BTS. 𝘂𝗶𝘆. Towers? What do they do? Ooh. I don't think they're real. There is an ult from the Kayn. They're going to be able to answer. One, 𝘁𝗏𝗺 going low. Oh my word, Slater flashing under the inner tower. He takes the kill and gets away. Over on the top side, TH and Artifact having a bit of a scrap. It's a good stun into a good rock. There's the Gangplank hold, and TH doesn't want to mess with it. That rock scraped the mech, but didn't do any damage. Oh, 𝘁𝗏𝗀 just stepping way too far forward. But he does live. Was in the big tanky cow mode and survives, but the tower goes down. Coded is in the bot side, and this is just domination.
And here's a tower that they prepared earlier. Coded's going to pick that up. Oh no, he's not even going to pick that up, and he's going to pay for it. For reaching, Big Car is just going to run him down. Glory taking that kill with the command attack. That is a bit of a blunder on the end there for Coded, but overall the play still comes out Team Secret favored. They pick up about they pick up, I think, 3 kills overall. They pick up Glory here. Yeah, we see 𝘂𝗶𝘆. Looks like he overreaches a little bit. Or rather, it looks like 𝘁𝗏𝗺 is going to be in a really bad situation, but there's enough damage from the Shockwave and the Kayn ult to do it. Slater, dodging the Pulverize with his ultimate, knows he can just flash in and take that because there's nothing else 𝘂𝗀𝗀 can do to keep him on the turret. So picks up that free kill. Trade in the top lane, that amounted to nothing, and they did end up trading that kill back in the bot lane, so it was actually a 2-for-2 in kills overall, but there was the mid lane turret gained on top of that. So gold positive for Team Secret, but bit of a blunder from Coated there. They could have walked away with so much more. Well, another 1,000 gold.
Yeah, it is a little bit
300.
It is a little bit of a mistake, but I don't think it's going to cost them in the long run. Just something to clean up when they do their VOD review for sure, though. He has completed that Essence Reaver. Is on his way to that Immortal Shield Bow. Pretty standard Gangplank build.
Yep.
That's kind of standard at this point. It's just
Essence Reaver first is really, really strong.
Yeah, Essence Reaver first it's a great item. GP loves it for the mana, so makes a lot of sense. TS on the top side. They're going to take a Rift Herald.
He's not going to
see objective, kill objective.
It's not that kind of sword. Of course he's buying it for the mana. God.
Well, he could also be buying it for the Spellblade.
There are things that do more damage with Spellblade than Essence Reaver. But anyway, that's besides the point. That's going to be the second Rift Herald picked up because it's apparently only 17 minutes. It's actually not that bad for the side of, in terms of kills per minute. That's actually kind of low for VCS. But overall,
the issue with for combined kills per minute is BTS isn't really firing any back. TH in a lot of trouble. Equalizer, Artifact picking it up, and that's a perfect little segue because Artifact might have been the best mid laner so far this week. I actually don't even think it's a might. I think he just has been. This dude has been straight up smurfing. He played against 𝘀𝗀𝗆, He had a ridiculous Azir game in game 1, where I don't remember what his KDA was. It wasn't actually that insane, but he was the reason they won. He played insanely well, and then he went 9-0 on Victor in game 2, and was just absolutely smurfing. 𝘀𝗀𝗃's in a lot of trouble. He will be going down, but it's not super consequential, so I'm not going to interrupt my point. 𝘁𝘁𝗺 has been amazing, and that's really important for Team Secret because they've got Slater, and Slater seems to be back on form. In-form Slater, arguably the best ADC in the league. In-form 𝘁𝘁𝗺 might be challenging for that spot as well, and if that's the case, Team Secret in the second half of this split might make a real run.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got themselves set up to. 𝘁𝘁𝗺 did have a bit of a blunder in game 2 today, but he has absolutely had the best week of the split so far. He's had one of his best splits best weeks since I've been watching the VCS on the regular. So really good, impressive stuff from 𝘁𝘁𝗺. The whole team of Team Secret seems to have found their groove. They've rallied around each other and gone, hang on, we're meant to be good. Yulwei predicted us coming second this split. We can't let him down. We can't let him down.
I think it was actually me that predicted them coming second, by the way. I think Yulwei had them a bit further.
Yulwei had them second. I remember that. Yes, because he had no faith in SBTC.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you are right. Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, I mean, this is actually a pretty big one for Team Secret as well.
Absolutely.
They started out this split really bad.
They were 0-3, weren't they?
They were 0-3. They were 1-3 coming into this week and had 𝘁𝗀, right? So we were like, okay, they're going to be 1-3. They get the upset. They take the massive scalp off of 𝘁𝗀 that very few teams are going to be able to match them on. That's an insanely valuable. Now going into BTS, they pick this win up. They're 3-3. That is completely salvageable for a split, and they should be able to make a good run at playoffs. So Team Secret, after this week, seem revitalized.
Oh, no. Oh, okay, never mind.
Oh, here we go. Big fight. Yeah, but look at all the damage. Big Coro has been melted. 𝘁𝗀𝗃's pick up one as well. 𝘁𝗀𝗃's in the backside. But Slater will not go down. The only one to die is CBL. 𝘁𝗀𝗃 and TH limp away.
It's a 9,000 gold lead. That was the final attempt from TH. They could not. They had what looks like to be the perfect team fight. 4-man shockwave combo from 𝗀𝗄 and 𝘁𝗀𝗃, but TH had already blown his flash ultimate and whiffed it entirely. There were too many stopwatches on the side of Team Secret, so they couldn't follow up with the damage. They couldn't find the kills, and that means they are now BTS is even further in the hole. And look at their base; it's in shambles. We weren't really mentioning it because we were discussing all the stuff outside the game, but great use of that second Herald got them that mid lane inhibitor turret. Just good, strong push got them that bot lane turret. Now that fight picks them up. The mid lane inhibitor itself. The Cloud Soul is on the map. They are going to pick that up. BTS, they're probably going to have to fight somewhere soon. Maybe it's at the Baron that I imagine Team Secret is going to walk to immediately after this Drake.
Yeah, I mean, BTS, if that fight happens and the game is close, BTS instantly win there. That is like ridiculous. They probably get an ace. They're in a hugely commanding position, but the game's not close. I hate to put it so bluntly, but this game is absolutely not close. BTS has been absolutely blown out of the water. Their fudge has been packed, and that's not what we want to see. And we were talking about Team Secret's hopes for the rest of the split. I saw that facial expression. This is bad for BTS. BTS are now the bottom of the ladder. With this loss, they fall below Flash. And you kind of have to just say good night to your spring.
Yeah, they absolutely are probably going to have to say goodbye to spring playoffs. They may be able to salvage it a little bit on the back end to keep themselves out of relegation zone. But
I even think that's going to be hard from a 1-5 position.
It's definitely going to be difficult. Yeah, no, it's actually going to be extremely difficult because then the only one you're looking to knock down is GLX, and they have a pretty handsome lead on you.
Yeah,
And-
exactly.
This entire
Oh,
Elliot just dies. Yeah, that happened.
Just an equalizer
Yep.
dropped, almost just as a bit of a screw you. They're going to go in, take another inhibitor. That'll be the second one down. Team Secret. I mean, some people I'm sure in chat will complain about us not really talking about the game. But seriously, guys, there's not a lot to talk about. It's been over for 20 minutes. As the Nexus is under siege, Team Secret, very... Of course. This is... I mean, BTS, it's game 3. You're 10k gold down. You may as well flip, right? You got nothing else to do. 𝗀𝗃𝗺 does use that Umbral Trespass, gets inside DNK, and is immediately happy pirate. TH goes for the Gnar, hits absolutely nothing. CBL charges on in, shows that horses are closed. 𝘀𝘂𝗍 will make it back to the fountain, but he will be the only Nexus is exposed, and Team Secret will win both of their series this week, and BTS was the only one to take a game off.
Yeah, I mean, we knew BTS, one of the best teams in the game, in the VCS, at taking at least one game a series. They will never be 2-0'd, and I hope that trend continues because
It's pretty
it's pretty amusing. Unfortunately, I have to face 𝘁 at some point, so we'll see.
funny.
But good sign, like, there were good signs of life from both teams. Well, I mean, from the side of BTS, Team Secret, of course, absolutely ran away with that game. So yeah, they looked alive. Shocking. But with that, I think we're gonna have to bring in the other two analysts. So
Bye
goodbye,
for
every
now.
day.
Goodbye.
Oh,
All good. Production's just got to sort one or two things out. It's fine.
production's a muppet.
How nice.
So
Team Secret. While I wait, Team Secret. I mean, I think that is a return to form. I guess goodbye. Bye, guys.
oh, okay. Bye, every day. We have fun. We have fun here. Anyway, welcome back, Clockwork. Welcome back, Yulwei. Secret did it. They showed a dominating performance. Yulwei, your thoughts on the game?
Well, it took me one glance to know that Secret would win, because Kane with Conqueror is an insta-loss. So not much to talk about the game, honestly. Not sure what the flip was about in bot side jungle. Both teams seemed very committed to just flip the game, and well, maybe they were tired of playing or something, so they just decided mutually that, okay, we're just going to see who wins this fight, and then whoever wins this fight wins the game. Fair enough. That's basically what happened. Very annoying game to watch, because it's basically just 20 minutes of just closing out the game where nothing happens because the game is so far out of reach.
Yes, and our Secret fanboy. You come in, you pick the week for it. Secret 2-0 on the week. Clockwork, how good is Secret? This is what we wanted.
This feels great, of course. How good are Secret is a question that I don't think I can answer right now, because there are still a lot of series to be played, and I need more to prove that they are as consistent as they need to be if they want to challenge them, not for just a regular season series, but for the title. So this is a very good start. Actually, last week was the start, and this week is a very good continuation and improvement on that. And Artifact popping off definitely helped. I think 𝗀𝗃, well, he's not playing at his peak, and we all know it, but he is getting back in form slowly. So yeah, I think this is a great week for Team Secret. And they need at least a couple of more before I'm sold. But this really feels good, man.
Yeah, with their bot lane finally stepping up, I think Team Secret is going to be a major contender. We all had them placed very highly. I think Everyday even considered putting them first at some point. I'm not sure if we're there yet. I think so far, Secret, I mean, they're the only team to win a game against 𝘁 so far. Maybe that's going to change in just about 40 minutes or something. But Yeah, I echo most of the points Clockwork brought up. I think the team is still too inconsistent. They have been for ages now. Like since this core came together, Code, DNK, and Artifact, they've always been super flippy. The highs insanely high. Everyone getting hyped with their macro moves last split. For Herald, for Dragons, they were the much further ahead than any other VCS team when it came to reading the macro moves in other regions. But then also just random ints against bottom tier teams. So they need
right.
some consistency. I need to see more consistency as well.
All right, Clockwork, final word before we cut to the break.
Yeah, one more thing that I noticed in all three games, despite the game 2 loss, was that Secret had early game leads. This is very important because it's something that they haven't managed to pull off in the rest of their past games. As Everyday also mentioned during the cast, they pulled off comebacks yesterday versus GAM, and starting the game off with an early game lead with a solid presence like this game 3 was a storm from minute 3, I believe. So this is what I want to see from a team that aims to challenge for the title. So yeah, this is statistical improvement that really makes me feel hopeful.
All right, well, with that, we will be back in about half an hour. Who can really say? Vietnamese timers are much longer than the games usually are, so we'll see you then.
See you later.
𝘁𝗀𝗆𝘆𝘀, and today I will explain to you in the most basic way possible the complex and very refined concept of 𝘁𝗁𝗃, a phenomenon that happens throughout all leagues and all players and all teams across leagues in the world, especially in competitive environments such as VCS. What is the definition of this phenomenon named 𝘁𝗁𝗃? This is something that happens specifically to teams when I performs a simulation cheering for them extensively and eagerly. Subsequently, the team gets inevitably dragged down to its trough of performance without any possibility of rebounding. This also can happen in most significant and impressive ways, such as performing very well and up to peak of the league at some times, only then to drop just before the clutch moments, as for example playoffs. This has been notably verified as for Team Secret in most recent summer 2020 playoffs, where you can see Clockwork has been eagerly cheering for such team, and they got eliminated by EVOS. It was a very clear example, and that's when I started my research on the topic. I found out also, due to extensive research and publishing, that the conditions, however, for this 𝘁𝗁𝗃 to happen are not easily met. There is a very strict set of conditions that need to be realized in order for the 𝘁𝗁𝗃 to properly be realized. This specifically requires Clockwork to cheer very eagerly and wholeheartedly for said team. It cannot happen that a 𝘁𝗁𝗃 happens just for momentaneous hate or voting against the team in mundane predictions. This will not have any effect on the performance of said team. However, there are corollaries to this very specific phenomenon. Specifically, it can work very well on single players. When Clockwork cheers for them or wishes them well during the off-season, usually their fate is in inevitable decline. It also not only scales down to single players instead of teams, but also scales up in terms of whole leagues. And this has been verified extensively in the recently followed VCS League, which has been barred from Worlds participation just after Clockwork started to follow the league closely in summer 2020. As you could notice, also very recent examples for this to be shown extensively are definitely his recent invitation to the VCS broadcast, which then prompted the cancellation of the week number 3 of VCS broadcast and subsequent beginning of TED vacations. This might be also requiring further testing, as for example for MSI in spring 2021, we'll probably not be seeing VCS if further invitations are made to Clockwork. Thus, we wholeheartedly suggest not to invite Clockwork again on broadcast to prevent further disasters and further 𝗀𝗀𝗀𝘀 to happen. Remember, there is however one way to counter the 𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. For this to happen, the chat needs to very eagerly and with high frequency spam the 𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗀, which is a typical fish found in the original territories of Clockwork. It is just a fish, so a fish emoji is perfectly apt for the purpose. So do remember, dear VCS fan, it is required that you spam the 𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗀 to counter the 𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. Thank you for attending this lesson, and I eagerly await for you to show up very well at my exam, which is due soon. Most of my wishes go to you. See you in the next lecture.